Hey guys! A couple weeks ago, I asked you all to submit me your number one study tip for back to school via email, and I've compiled 20 of them into this video today that I'm sharing with you. I will also have a link down below to the Google Doc that has all 20 of these study tips so you can print them out, keep it in your Google Drive, or anything like that if you'd like to reference them. Tip number 1. Rearrange your room. I like to just take everything off my shelves, walls, and desk and just rearrange everything. Not only does it really refresh my study space and room, it gives me a sense of change and motivates me to work hard. Arrange your school organization method. From experience, you are much better off figuring out which apps, journaling techniques, and computer programs you want to use to study during the school year. That way, if you decide you dislike a certain facet of organization mid-year, you have to cut off one method and start afresh. It really helps to have everything in the same place during the school year, so put the extra effort in to predetermine what you will use. Submitted by Keegan. Tip number 2 from @OurJourneyInJournals. It helps to number your specific tasks. Brain dump all of the things you want to get done, but make sure to make them as specific as you can. For example, instead of saying study for math, put work on chapter review for 30 minutes, and then number all of your tasks and actually write down the number by each task item. I have found that having a clear and specific plan makes it very easy to work. Tip number 3. While making notes or reviewing your work, write down any questions or important information you think of in the margins or on sticky notes. During your next study session, start by answering those questions and addressing the important information. Submitted by @StudyQueen. Tip number 4 was submitted by Alyssa Waite. I have to listen to music while studying, but sometimes I would get distracted by it if there was too much going on. I learned that listening to one artist at a time helped me focus, and I even tried to listen to one album straight through, and I use the album length as my work time and take a break when the album is over. This helps me focus and have study breaks without constantly looking at a clock or a timer. And this isn't actually like a tip that I'm personally gonna try to implement because this sounds like it would work for me, so thank you so much, Alyssa, for submitting it. Tip number 5 is from @StudyToReachSuccess. If you cannot explain something simple enough, or if you can't put something in your own words, then you don't really understand it. Try to sum up the information you have just learned in a simple, easy to understand way and find someone you can explain it to. Tip number 6. One study tip that I found to help me get back into a school routine is a couple of weeks before, look at all of the classes and subjects you've selected and use Crash Course on YouTube or any other YouTube channel or prep book to go over some information. And this especially helps if you're taking like the AP version of a subject you've already taken. And this was by Marissa. Tip number 7 was submitted by @MarieKSays. Focus on the things you don't know because it's almost useless to reread, rethink, and rewrite something that you don't already know. Tip number 8 was submitted by Ready Set Sleeps. Use tabs, flags, sticky notes, etc. to cover up your most important notes and add a little label or clue or question over them. So next time you view your notes, you can test yourself to remember what's underneath it. And this is really good if you do it right away, so you naturally begin to learn the material every time you review it and you don't have to spend too much time cramming for a test at the end of the chapter. Tip number 9. Write down the results, study scores, test scores, or overall scores that you wish to receive and make sure they are achievable. Then increase that goal if possible, and those should be your goals for the year. Then print them out in a really bold, bright color and stick that piece of paper on the wall in front of your desk so whenever you look up, you can see your results and you're reminded of the awesome outcome your studying efforts will have. You can also write down your goals in a bullet journal or planner or in a notebook, just anywhere that you'll be able to see them often. Tip number 10 is to over-prepare, submitted by @ENFJStudies. As a very anxious person, it helps to research everything about the course, the schedule, and the teachers as soon as this information is made available to you. For me, this is about 1 to 1.5 months before the academic year starts, and I can write down all of the deadlines and the schedule in my planner and look it over whenever I feel nervous to start the new year. You can easily do this in a monthly overview or in a planner as well. Tip number 11 was submitted by @AngieWang0118. Basically, if you have a class or a subject that you know you'll definitely have next year, start getting into a light study routine, such as watching a short 10-minute video about the subject, reading a prep book, etc. The purpose of this is to get your mind set for school. I feel somewhat prepared as to what I should be expecting from my classes curriculum-wise, and I just get the accomplished feeling of feeling productive. School starts in the beginning of August for me, so I think this is an awesome way to get into the focused/school mode. One thing I do want to mention in this tip though is that summer is meant to be a time for students to have fun, relax, hang out with friends, etc. So I personally recommend trying this during the second month of summer break when school is just around the corner. Instead of worrying about it during the summer, tip number 12 says at the beginning of the semester, I take the syllabus for each class I have and write down every single known assignment and due date in my planner. And that way when the semester gets crazy, I don't have to worry about what's coming up because it's already written down. And you can establish a color coding system as well. This was submitted by Leanna. Tip number 13 was submitted by my friend @mildliners on Instagram. If bullet journaling or planning isn't necessarily something that works for you, I would recommend using a spreadsheet or some sort of table to organize your tasks. The way you organize a spreadsheet can be up to you, which I find really useful since my workload is different in the summer compared to the regular school year. I've changed up the layout of my spreadsheet accordingly. I've also been experimenting with different table formats to see what's most efficient for me. Another nice thing is that you can color code. I take advantage of this. If you use Google Sheets, you can also take this table on the go either by downloading the file offline or taking a screenshot with your mobile device. Tip number 14 was submitted by @trapdoggy. My favorite place to get cheap school supplies is Daiso. I know that's probably a repeat since Daiso is so popular in the study community, but they have very reasonable stationery. This is good to know. I've actually never been to Daiso, so I'll have to check it out. For tip number 15, @Seafoam Studies says, study your hardest subject and complete your hardest and most intense homework assignments as soon as you wake up, and wake up as early as you can to get started. I generally like to work for an hour, take a break for breakfast, then get back to work. I find that my motivation wanes throughout the day, but it is so much easier for me to be productive and get the most work done right after I wake up. So you can definitely apply this to weekends or if you have a break from school. Tip number 16 was submitted by @crystallized39 and @Jane_forever11. As you know, summer is a time where many students take advantage of not having a lot of work to do, leading to late nights and late mornings. To start a healthy mindset for back to school, it's a good idea to fix your sleeping schedule by sleeping a little bit earlier and waking up earlier. That way you're slowly training yourself for those early school hours so you don't come to school not refreshed. And it's a good idea to start this maybe 1 to 2 weeks before school starts, just so it isn't like a shock when all of a sudden you have to wake up at like 6 a.m. for school. Tip number 17 is also a health-focused tip submitted by Fiona. When I'm studying, I like to study for semi-long periods of time and then have healthy snacks to keep me healthy, happy, and not hungry. Make or buy a mix of nuts and dried fruits, or like cranberries and apricots, and a small amount of dark chocolate. It's delicious and healthy, perfect to put in a bowl to snack on while studying. You could also cut up fresh fruit and berries, or another snack I like is like healthy like granola bars. Obviously, you just want to make sure you're fueling your brain so that your brain can work well for you. Tip number 18 was submitted by @BlueSugarWolf. On the very first page of your notebook, when setting up your school supplies, take a small stack of sticky notes, about 11 per stack, and stick them to the front part of your notebook. And on the following 2 pages, make an index for your notes, number your pages as you take notes, and write them into your index. That way you'll be able to find important notes very, very quickly. And this is something I think I'm personally going to take from and try to set up my notebooks like this as well. Tips 19 and 20 sort of go hand in hand, but the first was submitted by @SmallBeanStudies. My personal favorite study tip is to use the test feature on Quizlet to make a free practice test off of your set. It will boost your confidence and knowledge as you are actively studying and pulling the information from your memory, so you are somewhat more prepared because you took the test already. Tip number 20 was submitted by @StudyingDays. My study tip is if your lecturers, teachers, or even your textbooks give you practice quizzes or past papers, use them. I am a criminology student at university, and last year I had to do a module. My lecturer put a whole bunch of practice tests and past papers online, and my friends and I did them together a few days before our exam, and we made a note of what we got wrong and what we didn't understand so we could make sure that we corrected that and knew it. Doing them together was also a good idea, so one of us knew and the other other ones didn't, we could explain together. And so again, just using all of the materials your teacher gives you is going to be very, very helpful. So I hope that this video was helpful for you all. If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up to let me know. And I hope all of you have an awesome back to school season.